Welcome back to the Story of Liberty. This is John Bona. You know, the amendments to our Constitution are very important. The first one said that Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. The second half is very important. Or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, of your religion. But for Jack Phillips, the owner of Masterpiece Cakes, his religious liberty was trampled upon by a judge in Denver, a Judge Robert Spencer, who ruled that Jack had to make a cake for a gay couple, demanding this cake be made for their gay wedding. Well, Jack politely said no, he wouldn't do it. And then after being threatened with phone calls and death threats and all that started, and protests outside his shop, boycotts, they finally filed a lawsuit against Jack. This 40-year-old business in Denver, Colorado, reached a defining moment. The Judge Robert Spencer, ruled that Jack, in order to keep his shop open and stay in business, had to make a cake for a gay wedding or shut down his shop. Allow me to give you just a little background on laws giving special legal rights to homosexuals. Prior to 1992, Denver had passed laws banning discrimination against homosexuals. Well, that sounds reasonable, because who wants to be in favor of discrimination? Nobody. But the United States of America already has laws forbidding discrimination against people because of race, gender, or age, for example. But if you further examine this, these laws that include homosexuals, what happens to a man like Jack, a Christian, a man who makes wedding cakes for a living, forced to take a job for a homosexual wedding? Or how about the photographer who was forced to take a job for a homosexual wedding? That happened in New Mexico. Will a church be forced to rent its facilities to homosexuals for a homosexual wedding? Well, that happened in New Jersey. We know that story at the United Methodist Church. Or will a Christian couple or family that owns a private guest house, like a bed and breakfast, for example, will they be forced to rent a room to a homosexual couple or a group of homosexuals? Would a Christian bookstore or a Christian station like the Story of Liberty be forced to hire a homosexual for a job? Or will any owner of any small business in America be forced to hire a homosexual who applies for a job out of fear of being hit with an anti-discrimination lawsuit like Jack Phillips was? Just like we all know that, for example, adultery is wrong and harmful. It's a sin and it's wrong. And here's the point, folks. Previously in Denver and in many other cities, homosexuals were protected by the same laws that protect everyone else in society, in the towns and in the cities. But these new laws went further on, and they made homosexuals a special class of people who were given special privileges under the law of special protection. These laws gave homosexual behavior a privileged position. Now think how wrong that is. Should a man who commits adultery on his wife or a wife who commits adultery on her husband get a privileged position under the law? I don't think so. They're both morally wrong. Well, in 1992, an amendment prohibited the state or local government in Colorado and Denver from passing laws that gave special protection to homosexual, lesbian, sexual orientation, conduct, practices, and relationships, and or entitled such persons to have a claim to any minority status, any preferred claim of discrimination. But the amendment was challenged. In the case Romer versus Evans on May 20th, 1996, by a 6-3 majority, the Supreme Court of the United States overturned this amendment to the Colorado Constitution. What happened? The question about whether homosexuals should be given special rights, special treatment, and protection under the law is very important to the people of Denver. The citizens of Denver, of Colorado, decided no to give special protections to homosexuals. It won in a statewide vote in a democratic process. Again, let me say that homosexuals were always protected by the laws of that state, as were all the other citizens, whether you were gay or not. The only question was, were they right to make homosexuals a special class of people deserving special protection? No, I don't think so. But the court decreed that the citizens of Denver, of Colorado, did not have the right to make that decision by themselves. So they made it for them, and they overturned the democratic process by deciding this matter. Folks, that is judicial tyranny. Again, nothing in our U.S. Constitution or the state constitution says anything about giving special rights to homosexuals. But the Supreme Court discovered this right in our Constitution. It does not exist. It's not in there. So did the authors and signers of our Constitution ever intend that traditional moral values of marriage between a man and a woman should be excluded as a basis for state law? No. Did the Constitution ever say anything guaranteeing that homosexuals should be considered a special class of people? No. Should they have special protections under the law? No. See, these are policies that are imposed by justices going way beyond their authority. These are justices just like Judge Robert Spencer trumping Jack's rights in Denver, Colorado. Because Judge Spencer thinks that Jack should just surrender his Christian belief and conduct business with everyone. This is a free country, I thought. And Jack does have religious, political, and economic liberty to serve who he would like to serve. Jack didn't turn anyone away from coming in his shop and buying some pastries. No. But this was a gay couple demanding that he make a wedding cake for their gay wedding. In this case, this activist judge, Spencer, he tried to equate sexual behavior with skin color because he said that Jack Phillips' refusal to serve a same-sex couple due to his Christian religion is no different from refusing to serve a biracial couple because of his Christian objection to biracial marriage. Well, think about that. That makes no sense. It even defies logic, because to equate sexual behavior with skin color, to compare the two, there's no logic there. There's no common sense there. What does sexual behavior have to do with skin color? This judge is way out, and I hope this gets overturned. Think about what this judge is ordering the bakery and its owner to abandon his beliefs. And by the way, the state of Colorado still defines marriage the same way Jack does, as marriage between a man and a woman. But he's telling Jack, cease and desist from discrimination or face punishment, which could include fines and jail time. Well, of course, Jack's lawyer made a good point. She said the logical conclusion of this marriage mandate is that the government can force business to participate in anything it wants them to. If the government could tell Jack what to think and say, that is a government we should fear, said Phillips' attorney, Nicole Martin. You know, if Jack Phillips and other people would like to serve the Lord through their faith and their work, the First Amendment encourages it. Think about it. What the First Amendment does not encourage are judges like Spencer, who have trampled Americans' rights and at the same time inventing others. Even the liberal Denver talk show host Peter Boyle said that these guys are wrong and Masterpiece Cakes is right. Boyles went on to say that as much as he supports two men getting married, and that's his right to support that, he said, I support Jack's right to say no. And so do almost 85 to 90% of Americans who agree that people in business, whether it's a Christian person in photography or making wedding cakes, if they turn down jobs because of their strongly held Christian belief in traditional marriage, they should not be punished. Think about it. Now, instead of turning down work, Jack may have to discontinue his profession altogether. Because if he can't make wedding cakes, he can't support his family. And this judge is demanding that Jack violate his Christian faith. This is unconscionable. This is unacceptable. Folks, rise up and speak out loud about this. Tragically, this is not only happening in the wedding cake and wedding photography business, it's coming to many other industries and broadcasting and education, small business, counseling, and even in our military, where conservative Christian views are consistently being trampled upon. Well, let us remember that our religious, political, and economic liberties come only from one place. They come from the Holy Scriptures, from God Himself. Just take a look at the Forefathers Monument in Plymouth, Massachusetts, that explains the matrix of liberty. And it all begins with faith in God. God bless you. And folks, continue the good fight of faith.